All of the predictions today are based upon questions that you've sent in. So this has come in particularly through the patrons and through the YouTube members, but also some of the ones that I put on the posts. So always keep an eye open for the posts and put your questions when you see one pop up, or if you're a member or you're a patron, always keep sending me your questions because they're very inspiring and they help me to make a good program. Well, another question posed to me, this time from the public, as it were, rather than from the patrons or from the YouTube members. And this was quite an interesting one that someone said. It says, several of your predictions are coming true. Meghan is beginning to talk about a third child, although she claims Harry wants one. Also, President Trump is bringing back paper ballots. Right again. Will Meghan have another baby? So there you go. That's interesting. I mean, these are things from the 2025 predictions I made in October 2024 again. So right from the start, I've said that Meghan would be the downfall of Harry. Unfortunately, I did say that right when they were getting married, and I think people were sort of sneering at my videos at that, saying, "Oh, this is such a good development for the royal family. You know, we can." Multiculturalism is being seen in the royal blood, and that's a good thing to see. And I thought, yes, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. But there's something not right with that woman, and that came right from the time. Now, this business about the third child, Meghan actually joked about this in a way. It was a secret third child in the new season of her Netflix series, With Love Meghan, wasn't it? God, lovely title, With Love Meghan. I think she's a woman, don't have a lot of that, frankly. But it was a light-hearted moment. It wasn't an announcement, was it? It wasn't an announcement that she planned to do that. And if you look at Harry too, I mean, he previously said that he'd have two maximum of two children. He said he didn't want more because he claimed, that children. He claimed that he didn't want more children for environmental reasons. A stance that he's repeated over the years. So this is a bit a propagandary sort of thing, isn't it? And it's about more attention when I say propagandary sort of thing. It's like getting a little bit of attention for the Meghan show, or something we can get a headline out of. So there's no actual real credible reporting that suggests that a Meghan is pregnant in 2025 or will be, but that's it. They're just rumors. Rumors are rumors, aren't they? So what's my prediction on this one with your question? Well, there's no evidence of a third baby on the way. I think the odds lean to no, unless the couple themselves say otherwise. But my original prediction did say that there would be talk of a new baby, and that did come true. So I got the talk of a new baby. You'll notice sometimes I word things carefully. But another prediction is their marriage is on the rocks. Often people look to a new baby or look to a new home when the marriage is in trouble. Can we solve our problems with a new baby? Can we solve our problems with a new home? We need a new start. So they try to find some way of kind of patching things up. I think there's a much, much deeper problem there than meets the eye. And also, I suppose I better mention about what you said about Trump, because yes, there has been some things about the postal ballots, and this was something I did speak about in my 2025 predictions made in October 2024. And President Trump has called for paper ballots only. He said that he'd use executive orders to mandate voter ID and to restrict mail voting. Mail voting, not mail, postal voting, I suppose, a better word. But the US elections are run by the states, and the courts have already blocked parts of this in March 2025 elections order. So nationally, bringing back paper ballots isn't something a president can simply impose upon people. And also in the USA, mostly does use use paper ballots anyway. 98% of jurisdictions use this system. I believe it was California, wasn't it, where there was a lot of conflict about this, because it looked as if things were being manipulated by that. And I certainly think the postal ballots are something that needs to be sorted out, the postal ballots. So, and there was all the paper trails and the hand counting, everything is quite difficult. So the slogans here kind of outpace the reality in some ways. Anyway, so my prediction for this one. I said that last year that USA would be entangled in legal disputes in 2025, didn't I? And I predict state by state fights, not a flip of national switch. And remember, paper records are already the norm. There's also talk of challenges to the application of tariffs. This could be a bigger problem, I think, and a bigger headache for Trump than he anticipates. Well, thanks for all your questions. Some brilliant ones there, and I could only cover a few of them. So do keep sending them in, because there were some brilliant ones in there today, and very well thought out, and so many others that I'd love to cover, and I will try to cover some more of those. But do keep sending them in. If you're on the public, you'll see I occasionally put up a post asking for questions, and I can take some of the questions from there. If your question don't get asked the first time, just keep posting, please, and you'll find that eventually I'll hopefully get round to yours. As I know there's so many issues I'd like to be able to cover. And don't forget also, if you're here for the first time, don't forget to subscribe, because I'm going to put some more videos up like this, lots more coming up. And always give us that thumbs up. Don't forget to give us that thumbs up. So thanks for your questions today, and make a comment now. What do you think? What's your opinion about some of these things that have come up in the question section of the video today? Really interesting things there. What do you think? Where's it all going to go? What's going to happen? There's so many things. So your comments are very important. Now, don't forget, I'm also been working on this AI, and I've created an oracle. And I'm working on that oracle, and it will answer your questions. So if you'd like to go on the list to be one of the first to use it, please do see the link in the description, because that is something that I think you would thoroughly enjoy. So that's it for this week, guys. Thank you for joining Coffee with Craig. Go and get your Coffee with Craig mug, perhaps, and join me for a sip of coffee, which I don't often do on the show, do I? But anyway, thank you. Next time, we've got some interesting stuff coming up. I'm looking again into the Naadis, and I've got a funny feeling there's something interesting there that I'm going to be able to show you next week. Something that seems to suggest that there could be a golden age about to be born. And maybe there are people here that might facilitate that in the future. So anyway, see you soon. See you next time. Bye for now. If you look back at my earlier predictions, and in particular the predictions I made on the newspaper, The Sun's website, I did actually say on there, the actual words were, there will be a flu epidemic linked to bioterrorism. And my thoughts are that Liz Truss will make it to the final, be the next PM. I think she will actually have a final battle between her and Rishi Sunak. We've not seen the full end of Boris Johnson either, I tell you. But Rishi Sunak actually will eventually, I feel, be the next leader of the Conservatives. So I think there's going to be a few conflicts that Britain's going to be drawn into, including I think Russia is going to take some moves against Ukraine. I think she will make it past her platinum jubilee, which comes up this year. But I think after that, we'll see a sudden and quick deterioration in the Queen's health. And I think we might lose the Queen towards the end of 2022. There's going to be a huge backlash from over the Netflix programs and screening, because I feel it comes out at a bad time. Charles will come to become King Charles, but his reign, I feel, will be short. I said that Prince Charles would be hit by an egg. And of course, there it is, all in the press today. Marvellous person she is. She does something extraordinary that could even put her life a little bit at risk with the way she did this. Okay. Is there something also there that's not been spoken about fully? Did they also discover something with Kate that wasn't quite right? A huge swarm of people knocking the doors of Europe and America. And I feel that Ukraine conflict is going to be a kind of a grinding conflict that goes on and on. I also feel that there's something going to happen in the Middle East as well. I feel as if there's going to be a sudden and unexpected thing happen in the Middle East. So I feel they're going to take it into their own hands, and I feel we're going to get a strike from Israel. This is going to be one of the significant things in 2023. I've said it before and I say it again. I feel Israel, with the help from the USA, will strike the Iranian nuclear facilities. I said that there would be an earthquake that would shake New York. At this time, I've been sensing that for a while that there's going to be a big earthquake of some sort. And this could well come up during April period. I'm seeing a bridge collapsing, actually the whole infrastructure of it going. I predict something very dark happens to President Joe Biden. He's been pulled from power, sacked, as it were, and quite close to the election time. But I kind of sense it's more to do with illness, perhaps, senility, and people stopping him because of that. So it could even be that a new candidate will run for the presidential nominee. I predict that Trump will win the November 2024 election. And I feel very strongly that the black vote is going to move towards Trump. See him as a sort of a bit of a cool guy. I can't see Trump being put in jail despite what they're throwing at him. I can't see a jail sentence with him. But I get the feeling one of the candidates has an attempt on the candidate's life. Could there have been a plan to assassinate either him or Trump, perhaps? There's going to be an assassination attempt on Trump, I think. That will fail, but he might maybe get wounded or something like that. A hit or attack on our airplanes, maybe on passenger flights or even freight flights. Because I also had at a similar time, I was also seeing this image of helicopters on fire as well. I seem to see like the west of America on fire and the east of America underwater, huge winds. And I actually saw, just like we had a major problem here in the UK where a tower block went up on fire, I see a tower block deserted. In Sweden, I saw Stockholm, and I saw the ship there. I think it's called Vasa, and I felt as if there was an attempt to try to set that boat on fire. And there will be mass layoffs. He's going to do to the government what he did to X, which is basically, let's pretty much sack everybody and let's re-employ those that are any good. I feel that Musk and Trump ultimately fall out. So I predict that they'll have a major fallout in the end. And more government control in cryptocurrencies. And, you know, I saw this image as well of the Eiffel Tower against the backdrop of burning Paris. Is there a big fire in Paris? that this year I saw big earthquake coming. Now, could that be coming soon? Could that be also coming soon on top of this? Because that was what I was seeing before. And you know, like I say, like that Santa Monica, where I thought the pier was going up on fire, that was obviously symbolic perhaps of Santa Monica going up on fire, because the fires are right on the doorstep of Santa Monica, is that there's going to be a major earthquake around both sides of the Pacific Rim. But it is like that. I felt as if there was something, a big plate move that affected right over from America to Japan.